All right, so this is the lighting studio. I mean, it's hard to miss. You come in through the door and it's right in front of you. Once you're in here, it may look different than it does now. It's pretty clean right now. There should be more lights in here. We have a couple lights that are checked out by students, but I'm gonna walk you through the basic process. So I'm gonna close this door. It has a lock down here. And basically, this kind of pile, which again, this stuff may be moved around by other students. These are all things that attach onto lights. These are different colored gels. So we have a yellow one right here. There's a blue one actually on the light, and they simply clip on. I'm totally fine with you experimenting, trying out different things. You can go buy some different colored gels if you like, or if you have some maybe for some other project, you can use those. There's other things in here that will add different effects to the lights if you attach them. Just try playing with it and see what happens. So these two are both flashlights and continuous lights. They have two different modes, which means they can flash like as if you were in a portrait studio, but they can also just stay on. I'm gonna show you just the staying on mode. The flash is a little more complex, and we're gonna get into that in a future project. For now, I just want you to focus on playing with light and experimenting with it. So first things first, safety, okay? These two tripods, can hold the weight of these these lights, but as the lights become more tilted, so for example, if I take this and I move this over here, you can see there's this clamp. If I loosen the clamp, I can rotate this or extend it. Let me just loosen that real quick. Trying to do this with like one hand. It's a little bit complicated. So I've loosened it and it can now move, and I can extend this. Let me loosen a little more. There we go. So you can see I can move this light around, but of course, if I just have it like straight out like this and I lock it, it's gonna fall. So these blue bags are sandbags, and you place those over different legs to stabilize your tripod, okay? Just be careful with it and make sure it doesn't fall. All right, I'm gonna lock this up, so I'm gonna stop the video. So coming back, we've set up this light. It's not plugged in, and by default, you should leave all these unplugged whenever you leave the room. There's all of these locks at different places if you wanna lock it or rotate the light. These are barn doors, which you can close and open to control the light to allow more to sort of flood the area. And again, it has just a little simple clip-on gel. So the plug situation is weird because this plug does not work. So to plug in, you need to run, there's a bunch of extension cords. There's also one right there. Run an extension cord from out here. All right, you can plug it in there. You can unplug this humidifier, just plug it back in, or really it's a dehumidifier. And then run it in here to lights that are over here. Now on this wall, we're fine because we actually have working plugs on this side. So I'm gonna grab this cord. I'm going to plug it into the back slot. Just a second, let me do that. It's hard to do with one hand. And on the back of the light, you can see there's a couple of different things. So these two are sensors for flash. Again, we're not gonna do flash with this project. We're just gonna do continuous light. I'll talk about flash in the future. This turns it on, okay? And this turns the continuous light on and off. You can see that it's turning on and off, okay? This is the flash button. So when we press that, it flashes. Again, we're not gonna be using that in this project, so just turning it on and off. There's also different settings for the lights. You can play with these and experiment. So I'm gonna just lock this light into place. Kind of moved it, lock it down. Just do that real quick. Okay, so now it's locked into place, and you can see we have a nice blue light. So now that I have a light on, I'm gonna come back in here. I'm gonna turn off the total lights. So now I just have this blue, and we can start to experiment. So I'm gonna switch to selfie mode so you can see what it kind of looks like. So you can already see that there's kind of this, strong blue light. We can get the other light in here, turn that on, start working with it and experimenting. For example, if I move one of these barn doors, I can cut how much light is hitting my face. I can create some shadows. I can change how it's reflecting around the room. You can see that color shifting. Again, we can swap out the actual gels and do other things. So that covers the light part of the lighting studio. And there's other lights. Once they're in here, again, like students have them checked out. Once they're back in here, I'll make videos for those. But they're all pretty much the same principle. They have a switch on the back, turn them on, turn them off. Whenever you leave the room, you need to unplug all of the lights and just make sure that they're locked down and not going to fall over. Okay, now I'm going to talk about tripods.